Happy Thanksgiving, my favorite time of the year, my favorite holiday. I wish for you to know the fullness of Thanksgiving, not just in your belly, but in your heart. So as we settle in for our just pause practice, let's see if we can't cultivate a little gratitude for this moment just as we are. Welcome to Just Breathe. Find yourself a comfortable place to begin. Allow yourself this transition. Notice the quality of your breath just as it is. Now, that's more than likely a reflection of what you've been doing, not just before coming to this moment, but in order to enable you to get to this pause for our Just Breathe practice. But often we practice the skills of ignoring strong sensations, subtle sensations, little inklings of information, until catastrophe strikes and we're forced to pay attention. In some ways, this analogy is a little bit like the rituals and the celebrations of our holidays. They are meant to be a climactic experience, a milestone event in order to shake us up and wake us up. So that when we go back to the mundane, when we go back to the regular, we remember the value in the simple, in the mundane, in the everyday. Now, some of us fail to bring that gratitude into tomorrow, into Friday and Saturday and next month and the end of the year. So we practice being with what is right here, right now, so that when the milestone events, when the inspiration arrives, when the holiday is on the calendar, we can celebrate whatever the intention is and learn from that to bring back the lessons of compassion and truth, of love and connection. So what do you notice here in this moment, in your body, in your breath, in the space between your ears, in the space between your ribs, the space between what was and what will be meets here in this now? Bring your hands together at your heart and let's sound an Om to clear out any obstacles that might prevent us from being very connected, deeply intimate with this now moment just as we are. Draw the breath in and sound. Namaste in greeting, in welcoming, in invitation to this moment. Let's snap the hands, create that distinction between what was before and what is now. Feel the heat, feel the sting, and welcome in the next breath as if it is, in fact, something new, something dynamic, something inspired. The ribs and belly expand on the inhale. Draw the navel back, the pelvic floor up on the exhale. Where do you feel the dynamics of push and pull, of opening and contracting, familiar and unfamiliar? And see if you can stay in the sensation rather than traveling north to the justification, the rationalization, the need to understand. Stay in the sensation. Stay in the intimacy of what is present in experience. Thinking comes later. Breathing and feeling. This is our practice. Are you still here in this moment? Are you still paying attention to this breath? Not the next one, not the last one, this one. This moment is what links us to our biography, biology, our backstory, our behaviors of what has come before. This is the pause that will allow us to shift any of that doesn't serve us going forward. Yeah, no, we can't change our biology, perhaps. Science is still finding ways in which, yes, we can influence and nudge even our genetic makeup. Yeah, we can't change all of our biography, that's what is there. But our backstory is how we interpret those stories. And we can shift our understanding and our focus. It reminds me a little bit of how authors will tell the story of Cinderella, perhaps from the perspective of the sisters, or even the perspective of the stepmother. And how does that change our empathy for the main character? That which we are resistant to might just be that which will help us to shift, to bloom, and to become. Start to bring a little effort into both sides of your breath. We call this the Bhastrika breath, but don't get too over-efforting. Just see if you can add maybe 20%, maybe up to 50% to that. And let the effort go. Come back to the comfortable breath. One of the things that I know of having spent this last decade plus in the yoga world is that yogis often strive after strong sensation. You might even call it an addiction to pain, to strong sensation, to push. But what if there was even perhaps more to gain by being still, by cultivating ease, permission, subtlety, patience? When I'm ready for shift, when I'm ready to celebrate, when I'm ready for what's next, I can't hardly sit still. But that doesn't make it arrive any quicker. Now, see if you can tune down the effort of your breath. Just that which is necessary to sustain the ease of breath. Not your biggest breath, not your strongest breath, just enough breath. If you start to feel weak or dizzy or disoriented, that's not enough. If you start feeling fatigued or pushed or tortured, that's too much. Can you recalibrate to enoughness and find gratitude for enoughness in this moment? The next moment will take care of itself. In so many ways, this breath of enoughness, this mindset of minimal effort, is how I'm approaching the holiday season this year. Not as a practice of scarcity or lack, but potentially the abundance in the enoughness. Because in that enoughness, we can choose gratitude. Choose to celebrate what is here. And in that gratitude, we can redefine even pain. Disappointment. Failure. Loss, grief, anger. Learning to understand, meaning to be with. Not to explain, not to understand and comprehend, but to understand in our heart space what is here in this moment, just as we are. This is the allowing. Allowing this to be enough. And in that precious, tender space of allowing, this, for me, very fragile place, is where I can choose gratitude. Eka Bhumi Charles Ellick. Pain Suite. S-U-I-T-E, as in the room in which pain lives. Pain is a flower. Most folks pull from their garden thinking it common. How precious and rare to be born in a human body, even angels lust. Some say that yoga is soft, easy, for wimps. Yes. No. It is a mirror. Miracles do not blossom in the intense heat of skepticism. Some pain is torture, some pleasure. The difference? How I ask for it. A rose with no thorns is a teacher with no truth. A bowl with no food. Inside every rock, a silent Buddha waiting for the stone carver. What's the link between our biology, biography, our backstory, and what's next? What's the connection between pain and our celebration and holidays? The connection is what we do right now, what we give our attention to. There is no greater gift to give others or to give ourselves than the gift of our attention. This is yoga. It's what puts us in the path of inspiration, to be enlightened, to know the highs and to endure the lows. The choice is in noticing and cultivating gratitude for what is, because this too will pass. The leftovers will be eaten. The friends and family who've gathered will go home. Work will resume. And yet, we don't have to go back to the way it was. We can shift. We can become. We can learn. We can love. We can choose to be enough and continue to grow. This is the invitation of yoga. Let your hands come to rest together. And again, use the breath to sound, a sigh, an om, a moan, a groan. What would be the honest reflection of your attention, your energy in this moment? Whether it's to shed what you no longer need or to prepare for what's next. Draw the breath in and fuel your breath. And sound. May you breathe deeply and move freely. May you labor lovingly so you can live vibrantly in this moment, in the celebrations, in the pain, the grief, the suffering, the sorrow, whatever is next. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing in this practice.